Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's talk about a situation that I know a lot of you are dealing with. You've started intermittent fasting, you're feeling the benefits, it's working for you, but there's a problem you didn't see coming. The people you love, your family, they're worried. And sometimes getting them on board can feel way harder than the fast itself. So today, we're going to break down a really clear communication plan to help you turn all that friction into genuine support.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You're feeling fantastic, right? You've got more energy, your mind is clearer, but then you sit down for a family meal, and suddenly you're in the middle of a debate about your new lifestyle. It is so frustrating when something that feels this good for you becomes a point of conflict at home. So let's dive into this and figure out exactly how we can bridge that gap.
Yes, this one. This is the classic, isn't it? You're starving yourself. And, it almost always comes from a place of love, but wow, it can really feel like an attack. The natural reaction is to get defensive, to pull up a bunch of facts and try to prove them wrong. But what if we could just reframe this whole conversation? The goal here isn't to win an argument, it's to build understanding. And that journey starts somewhere you might not expect.
Okay, so before you even start thinking about explaining the science or listing off all the benefits you're feeling, you have to do this one thing first. You've got to stop, listen, and really try to understand where they're coming from. Their worries, they're not just random criticisms. They are almost always rooted in genuine care for you. Let's break down what's really going on behind those objections.
When you really get down to it, their concerns usually fall into three big categories. First, your health. I mean, think about it. Most of us grew up being told that skipping meals is one of the worst things you can do. So of course they're worried you're not getting enough vitamins or nutrients. Second, they're worried about your mood. They're picturing you being hangry all the time, irritable and tired. And number three, and this one is huge, they're worried about losing connection. For so many families, shared meals are the bedrock of their time together. They're afraid you're pulling away from that, and they're scared of losing that special time with you.
And here's the real key. Once you see their worries not as criticism, but as an expression of love and concern, everything changes. You automatically shift from being on the defensive to being on the same team. Just acknowledging their fears is the first step to calming them down. You'd be amazed what a simple sentence like, "I get it, I understand why you're worried about my health," can do to change the entire tone of the conversation.
All right, so once you've shown them that you hear them and you understand their perspective, now it's your turn to explain yours. But listen, this is not the time to dump a bunch of complex scientific studies on them. It's about translating your why into a language that they can actually connect with. And we're going to start with a really important concept.
Instead of getting tangled up in a bunch of jargon, you can keep it really simple. You could say something like, metabolic health is just a way of talking about how well my body uses the energy it gets from my food. Think of it like your car's engine. You want that engine running smoothly and efficiently, right? Not sputtering and stalling out. Well, intermittent fasting is kind of like giving that engine a regular tune-up.
You can really paint a picture for them here. You can talk about the before. That energy roller coaster where you'd eat, feel a big spike of energy, and then boom, that awful afternoon crash hits. Your digestive system was just constantly working, never getting a break. But with intermittent fasting, the goal is totally different. It's about stable, consistent energy. You're actually giving your body a chance to rest and repair. And that, in turn, leads to way better control over your hunger and blood sugar.
You see, you don't need a PhD to explain this stuff. Just use simple personal statements like these. Saying it helps my body handle sugar better is so much more relatable than trying to explain insulin sensitivity. And mentioning a digestive break just makes sense to people. And when you share a personal benefit like being able to focus better at work, you're making the results real and tangible for them. It connects what you're doing to a positive outcome they can actually understand.
Now let's move on to the next phase, which is all about collaboration. This is where you can totally transform the dynamic. You can turn your solo health mission into a team effort. The moment your family feels included, they start to shift from being worried spectators to being your biggest supporters. It's no longer just your diet. It becomes our family's plan to help you succeed.
This is a super practical guide to making that happen. First off, be totally transparent about your schedule. Just saying, hey, just so you know, I'll be fasting from 8 p.m. tonight until noon tomorrow. It removes all the mystery, they know what to expect. Second, and this is so important, actively protect those shared meal times. Make it a point to say, no matter what, let's make sure we always have dinner together. This directly tackles their fear of losing that connection. And finally, give them little updates. Just a casual, hey, I'm feeling great today, just drinking lots of water. It shows them you're being smart and safe about it.
Seriously,
Never ever underestimate how powerful it is to just ask for their help. Instead of constantly defending what you're doing, try inviting them in. A phrase like this, "I'd love your support on this," isn't demanding. It's actually a little vulnerable. It reframes them as your allies, as your support system. It changes the whole dynamic from a potential fight into a simple request for partnership. And that's a whole lot harder to say no to.
Okay, now for the fourth step in our plan. Because over time, the most powerful argument you have isn't going to be anything you say. It's going to be what they see. Sharing your positive results, both the big ones and the small ones, is how you really lock in their support and turn those skeptics into your biggest cheerleaders.
You know, tangible results are powerful. A number, like how much weight you've lost, is concrete. It's easy for people to grasp. But it's important to frame it not just as a number on a scale, but as a real, positive health outcome. It's solid evidence that this new approach is actually working, and that maybe, just maybe, their initial worries were a little bit misplaced.
But as we can see here, not all success is measured on the scale, right? You can't see improved energy levels or better mental clarity, but I guarantee you your family will notice it. They'll notice it in your mood, in your behavior. When they see that you're more present, more energetic, and just more positive to be around, well, that's more powerful than any article you could ever show them.
So try to get into the habit of just casually sharing these small, positive things. These aren't boasts, right? They're just little updates. Think of each one as a little piece of evidence that reinforces their confidence in what you're doing. It shows them that you're not just surviving on this new plan, you're actually thriving. And at the end of the day, that is all they really want for you.
So the bottom line here is this. Every single positive update you share is like making a deposit into a bank of trust. And as they see you getting healthier and happier, their anxiety just naturally starts to fade away. It gets replaced by confidence. Your success literally becomes their peace of mind.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground today. So let's take a moment and wrap all of this up into a simple, memorable action plan that you can start using literally today to transform these tough conversations. Here it is, your 4-step path to take you from friction to full-on family support. Step 1, always start with empathy. Understand that their fears come from a place of love. Step 2, explain your why in simple, clear, relatable terms. No jargon. Step 3, turn it into a team effort. Co-create a plan and be transparent. And finally, step 4, share your successes, big and small, and let those positive results do the heavy lifting for you. This is your roadmap.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Who is the biggest skeptic in your family? And what is one small conversation using just one of the steps we talked about that you can have with them today? It might be as simple as just asking them, "Hey, what's your biggest worry about this?" Or maybe just sharing a small win. That one single step can be the beginning of a whole new, supportive, and much more peaceful chapter in your health journey.